The main event for All In 2024 in Wembley is set. Alright, if you thought that there was a slim chance, a small chance, that maybe, just maybe, we might get Timeless Toni Storm defending her AEW Women's World Championship against Mariah May as the main event, or as the possible main event of the show, actually closing out the show, all of that is gone. Because the AEW World Championship match now has a career on the line. Last week on Dynamite, Bryan Danielson put his career on the line. It's going to be title versus career. If the American Dragon is unable to defeat Swerve Strickland and finally become AEW World's Heavyweight Champion, he will formally retire from AEW. And obviously that created headlines for the IWC. Obviously that raised the stakes for that world title match. And to be honest, at least from my point of view, I would not change the outcome I already had prior to this announcement. If it were up to me, if I were booking this, if I had the pen and I got to decide what transpires in Wembley Stadium in just a few weeks, Swerve Strickland retains the AEW World Championship. Now, that's a prediction. That's something that I would have gone through with regardless if the American Dragon's career wasn't on the line. First of all, Bryan Danielson already has stated multiple times this is his last full year as a full-time wrestler in AEW. Now, he's made statements, he's made comments in certain interviews that his contract apparently ran out on August 1st. Find that hard to believe, but you never know with AEW. The exact same thing happened with Cody Rhodes, but then you have Tony Khan saying that he wants and he wishes Bryan Danielson would stay with AEW for the long run, even after he's retired. So again, you never know. Second of all, making Bryan Danielson the AEW World Champion at this moment in time, I don't think it's the best move forward for AEW. Who is he going to drop it to down the line? Hangman Adam Page? I would much rather prefer we get Swerve versus Hangman Adam Page later down the line. One more time, this time for the world title. As a matter of fact, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting that top tier rivalry as the main event of All In, because that has the potential to be AEW's triple main event down the line for All In, their biggest show of the year. So who would Bryan Danielson drop it to? He's already faced MJF. He's lost to MJF. He's already faced Will Ospreay, which honestly, if they do end up putting the AEW World Championship on Bryan Danielson at All In, I think down the line, eventually once he loses that title, he's going to drop it to Will Ospreay, because Will Ospreay already had his shot at Swerve and he lost. He wasn't ready. But if they're going to put that title on Bryan, Will Ospreay might be the best choice to drop it to down the line once they keep building Will Ospreay out. I think he's the only option that he can drop it to down the line. With Swerve, again, we go back to that intense rivalry he had with Hangman Adam Page. We got that slight tease, very enticing tease between MJF and Swerve Strickland last year as well, when MJF was on top of the world. I don't know about you, but I would have wanted to see that match for the world title. We got a returning Adam Cole, a very soon to return Adam Cole, baby. Top heel. Once he returns, and he's got a faction in the Undisputed Kingdom. Once he makes his return, that's a tremendous foil for Swerve Strickland. And again, it could be a tremendous foil for Bryan Danielson as well. But again, I just look, call me romantic, call me old-fashioned, I don't care. I always viewed Bryan Danielson's current run in AEW as a Shawn Michaels run. Shawn Michaels, who came back to WWE back in 2002, and he won the World Championship one time for less than a month. Just to create drama, just to elevate that title for a little bit while they kept building up their younger stars. But that championship reign was a transitional reign. They didn't need to put the title on Shawn Michaels, and they never did, and he was completely fine with it. He sold pay-per-views just by name itself. Let's not forget his WrestleMania 23 match with John Cena. Bryan Danielson has been the exact same, in this case for AEW, in my mind, in my opinion. I don't think he needs a world title. As simple as that. And again, Swerve Strickland, he's a champion. He's the world champion who has been disregarded. He's been put on the side burner a few times during his title reign. They haven't made him the most important. They haven't made him the top dog. He's most certainly not reached the level of a top superstar that MJF was last year. And in order for them to change that and really improve on that, they need him to defeat Bryan Danielson and add him ending the American Dragon's career as a notch to his belt. That would put him over the top. That would cement him as one of the top stars in AEW, not only today, but in history. And one last thing I want to say. Let's stop putting the World Championships on stars from the past. Alright? We've got Swerve. We've got Hangman Adam Page. We've got MJF, who, yes, they've both been world champions before. But then you could put the title on Takeshita. You could build the scapegoat, Jack Perry, up to that level. Will Ospreay, Daniel Garcia, start building this younger generation instead of going back to Bryan Danielson. Instead of going back to Chris Jericho, who's still on TV for some reason. But still entertaining, but again, he's taking time away from younger superstars, and AEW should really focus on their young stars at this moment in time. Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, when they return, again, they have never been world champions, yet they keep calling them the pillars of AEW. Kind of prove it. That's all I'm going to say. Again, the stakes were raised. It's a tremendous main event. It adds to the unpredictability of this match. But I honestly think that the best way for Bryan Danielson's career to end is in Wembley in front of, 50,000-60,000 plus at AEW's biggest show of the year. I think that's the best way to go if it's not going to be in WWE and WrestleMania. That's just me. So, at least for me, Swerve Strickland retains at All In. What do you think is going to go down in just a few weeks in London, England, at Wembley Stadium? Do you think Swerve ends the American Dragon's career, or do you think Bryan has one first and final run with the AEW World Championship in just a few more weeks? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. With that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.